Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Worst Golf Podcast. Everybody wants to be the best. We strive to be the worst. When a bad take is necessary, we'll be here to share it with you. I'm your host, JB. Normally, the camera flips to my left, and with me will be Morgan. She is not with us this week, so God knows what's going to happen. There's no buttons to press or anything else. Before we get started, I want to make sure you subscribe to YouTube if you're watching it on there, and make sure you like the video. It helps us more than you know. We have a lot to cover today, and I see there's some people here with us already. There's going to be people filing in, and obviously people who find it later or listen to the audio. So I'm going to try to be careful with that. Starting off, I'm going to let everybody know up front that we talked a couple weeks ago about a new set, and we're pretty excited about it, but we are not going to have a show for the next several weeks. There may be an audio version that drops with some news, because we have some news to go over, but otherwise we're going to have a few weeks off while we have some construction take place and build what we think is going to be really, really freaking cool and kind of a little more immersive for everybody. So get excited for that. The new THP studio will debut, we think, for show number 25, which is kind of fun. And, you know, I want to appreciate and thank everybody who tunes in every week or tunes in when they can, whether that's the video or the audio version. It means a lot to us. Now, bear with me here as I'm pulling up some notes, because we have a lot to go over. And I know that some people are here for a contest. Some people are here for some event news. Some people are here for a lot of different things. And it's going to be feature rich, so to speak. So first up, there's some people. We put out a teaser last, I guess it was late last year, that the Srixon experience would be coming back in 2023. And we talked a little bit about why it went away. We talked a little bit about why it's coming back. And, you know, I think that in general, our idea for this one took a long time to kind of get into. And we went back and forth with the team at Srixon and what we wanted to do, what they wanted to do. And we've kind of put out some teasers already that, you know, it's going to be held at Briggs Ranch in San Antonio. And it's going to be, we gave the dates. I think we gave the dates. If we haven't, let me know in the chat. But it's going to be in November. I'm pretty sure we gave the dates on that. And that the golfers, the THPers that are going to be a part of it, are going to get their equipment way early so they can review it all year and then come to the event with it. So we're excited about that. And we think that this THP experience is going to be like nothing we've ever done with the Srixon team. So to start with, people have been asking what equipment is involved. And the answer that I can give you is yes. That's the best answer I have, because every participant in this event will get a 14 club bag made up of Srixon with some Cleveland put in there. So they'll be working with Cleveland wedges, the new RTX 6, and they'll be working with Cleveland putters. But driver, fairways, hybrids, irons are going to be Srixon, and we cannot wait for the feedback on that. How many golfers is it going to be? It's going to be 12 golfers total, but there's going to be 8 THPers that have a chance to go. So the reason for that is I'm going to be playing in this. Hawk, who's one of our writers, he's going to be a part of this event. And somebody from Srixon. Now, we hope that's Noel. There's some timing that we're working with to kind of make that work, but we will have somebody from Srixon there. And then the fourth person are, I guess if you are an NFL fan, you'll know this one well, but Adam Rank is going to be joining us. Now, he's been on this show before, but Adam Rank is going to be joining us at Briggs Ranch. If you don't know Adam Rank, he's one of the hosts of Fantasy Live on the NFL Network. He is an analyst for Good Morning Football. He is a writer at NFL.com. And he is also an analyst on NFL Total Access, which is their nightly show. That's kind of their flagship show, so to speak, that's on, I think it's 6 p.m. every night. He's also one of the funniest and nicest people you would ever imagine. as well as being a diehard Srixon fan. And kind of going with that, he's also a diehard golfer, obsessed. If you follow him on Twitter, make sure you jump in there. You'll see how much he's a golf fan, to go along with his professional wrestling fandom that we kind of teased him about on the show before. But Adam Rank's going to be joining us, and it's going to be awesome because, you know, you may be able to talk football, you can be able to talk golf, you can be able to talk pro wrestling if that's your thing. I see JB Cobb in the chat. That's definitely his thing. But it's going to be one of those kind of experiences it's like a once in a lifetime thing. And I know we say that quite a bit, but it's not often we combine two passions that people might have, maybe three, at a facility like Briggs Ranch that's unlike anything people would regularly experience because it's private. There's only 40 or so golfers out there each day, tee times 15 minutes apart. We'll have 4 caddies. You'll be staying on property in the cottages. The food's outrageous. Their drink cart, their beverage car that we posted a picture of on social media, and I think on the forum as well, is drinks up front. There's a taco bar in the back. It's truly something special. So to be able to share that with Srixon, Adam Rank, 8 THPers, Hawk, and myself, it's going to be one for the ages. But it gets a little more, I guess I'll say, quick or convoluted here. Signups for this are going to be in 2 weeks. So I'll post on the THP forum when those are going to be. But the signups are going to be in 2 weeks. And we're going to get people together, and they're going to have to choose their equipment in about 7 days or so. And that's kind of the tough part. You're not going to have time, most likely, to go get a full fitting or anything like that. But you are going to be able to pick whatever you want within realm. I shouldn't say stuff like that with THPers involved because it immediately leads to crazy shaft things. No, we're going to have some shaft options for people that exist, and some finish options and things like that. But it's going to be coming fast and furious because we need to get the equipment ordered and in your hands so you can start playing golf right away with it. And that's the most important stuff, is we want the feedback leading up to this thing the entire season. And we do that with all of our events. Now, some of them are done differently. For instance, the one we just did with Callaway, the Granddaddy, they got the equipment now, and they're going to be able to put it in play this whole year and offer feedback to people who are coming into it as well. So the entire thing is insane. People have asked me what the cost is going to be. It's $599, which we're pretty transparent on this show, so I'll share with you where that comes from. I have no idea. That's the truth of the matter. The cost per person all in, if we went like retail, would be about $5,500 to $6,000. We normally have charged $499. This year we had to bump that from $499 to $599 because the cost at golf courses is outrageous right now, and the cost at Briggs Ranch is expensive. There's no partnership between us and Briggs Ranch. We're members, and that's why I'm playing in them and not just showing up and watching you guys go out. You have to have a member playing with the group. All in, the cost per person average at Briggs Ranch is about $1,500 for a couple of days there. So that gives you an idea. That's room, food, board, depending on how many of the canned transfusions, or in that case, I think it's canned ranch water at that one, that you guys partake in. But that's kind of what we're working with. That's kind of what the cost is going to be. We're going to have signups, and we'll have all this out on the forum. The official thread on our THP forum, for those listening, will be hitting either tomorrow or Saturday, but we'll get it all up. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't want to get into, but we'll explain all of that when we drop the 25th show, and Morgan will hopefully be sitting next to me if she hasn't killed me by then. Somebody wrote in the comments they feel guilty paying $599. I'm happy to donate a dinner tab to you one of the nights. It's more than what, you might not like it, but if you'd like to do that, I'm happy to donate that to you. I'm kidding, of course. I'm going to jump into some THPer questions because we have a few of those, and I have a rant that I'm going to go on later on, And then I'm going to also share more information. We have the data experience, or not the data. We do have the data experience coming. We have the SkyTrak experience coming. We have a contest I'm going to talk about. There's so much going on. Limited series that's sitting next to me here. And I'm drinking more caffeine because I haven't had enough today. This is, for those that it's the Costco sample got me. It's Zip Fizz, the pina colada flavor, which is the best flavor. It's pretty fantastic. But let me jump into the THPer question. They asked a really interesting question about prices of golf clubs, and has the price increase caused a problem? And I think that's probably a better question to the people watching and listening. Is the price a problem for you guys now? And I'm going to tell a couple of stories of things that I've experienced over the years in golf, and kind of where it takes us as golf kind of did get more expensive over the last few years. Obviously, part of that is flat out raw materials. It's just part of it. The cost of steel, the cost of tungsten, the cost of everything is more expensive now. But let me share a story of, no, somebody asked if the polo item I'm wearing is limited item. No, I wore this to a PGA show one year. We have a partner in Perry Ellis who did some shirts for us, and they put our logo on it. So no, it's not, but it's a comfortable one. I'm going to tell two stories. The first is not really a story. It's a question to everybody listening. When PXG came onto the scene, and the messaging behind it was, if you have to ask the price, it's not for you, people balked at that. Not everybody, but some golfers balked at that. Most THPers kind of balked at that. And then now we're looking at the PXG model. They're no longer in stores. Retail wanted no part of that. And they're doing a direct-to-consumer model only, generally speaking, where they have their own stores, as well as they're in places like Club Champion and things like that. And the price fluctuates constantly. It's, the day it launches, it goes on sale, so to speak. In 5 years, if they're not making money, are you a golfer that's going to be okay with, hey, now this driver's $599 or $499 or $699, whatever they price it at, and it's not going on sale every 2 days? And that's really where the price thing comes. Companies can charge a lot less. I shouldn't say a lot less. They can charge less, but are they ever going to be able to charge more? Because in times like now, when materials cost more, shipping costs more, assembly costs more, and all these things cost more, are you going to be okay with it moving forward, or are you just done buying golf clubs? That's a tough spot to be in. It's much easier to be a premium product and come down in price than it is to be a low price product and go up in price. Personally, I don't believe a company like PXG is going to be able to get $600 or $700 for their driver. It's just my personal opinion. I don't see it happening anymore anytime soon. They might still be able to get, first responders and military at the 50% off. That's great. But when a product is always on sale, can you get full price for it? And I'm not sure the answer is yes there. The second thing is a bit of a story. So let's go back about 9 years, and drivers, generally speaking, were about $299. Now, if we go back 25 years, they were $399 and $499. But they had come down in price when most manufacturing and even assembly was being done overseas. There wasn't adjustability was there, but not in every driver. They weren't as intricate as they are now. Carbon fiber crowns weren't really a thing. Let's go back to like the R9, probably R11. Callaway was fresh back with the new Big Bertha and X-Hot and things like that. So the market leader at the time was TaylorMade Golf, and they were at $299 for their burner. I want to say it was super fast driver. Don't quote me on the model. I'm going straight off memory and have no notes on this. I want to say it was $299, and these other golf companies that were putting out what I would say was superior products in terms of what was being done to them, whether that be R&D or actually being built. They didn't have the cheapest shaft in the world in there coming standard and everything else. They were almost internally discussing, we need the market leader to go up in price because if you jump them in price, what happens? Do you get ignored? Do you look more premium? Do you just die on the vine? Like, what happens? But they needed them to, because they couldn't put out what they knew they had to get there. And that became kind of an internal battle. And I don't mean internal inside a company. I mean internal inside the industry. And I'm not speaking of a specific company. I talked to a couple of different ones at this, one based in Arizona, one based in Carlsbad. And everybody was kind of struggling. And then the market share leader did go up, and then everybody kind of followed suit because they had to. I'm not going to get political ever on this show, but when people want higher wages and all these other things, other costs come with that, and that's part of it. But it happened, and we were able to get to a point where we saw, if you look specifically from, let's say, R11 and jump 5 years to see where the drivers are when they jumped in price from $2 and $399 to $500 being kind of the standard, you see a big time increase in quality, whether it be more movable weights, whether it be carbon crowns, all these things. And that was able to be done because there's more money to be able to put into them. A driver that might have cost $50 out of a catalog, and there's still some direct-to-consumer companies buying those. They're not 50, they're probably $84 to $85, can now put more money into the product to get it there. And that's a tough spot to be in if you're sitting on technology that you know is really good and you can't use it. So I hope that answers that question. I'm not sure it does, but I hope it does. And it reminded me that sometimes products come along that you don't really expect. And I recently posted this one on social media, and I wanted to share it here as well. These media kits came out for Super Stroke, and it's blocking my face on the camera, but you can kind of see. This is their new Zenergy grip. And the idea of, like, that's our logo printed on there. We didn't ask them to do it. All different colors, things like that. And, there's so much more being done to the old argument of it's all the same, everything goes the same. Like, that's just not true. If somebody wants to believe that, cool, but that one's cool, isn't it? We'll call it the Miami Dolphins one. Golfer gal Morgan would be a big fan. She's a Dolphins fan. So there's a lot going into that, and we're starting to see more companies come out in the direct-to-consumer model, and it's such a weird name for it. It's probably better named the catalog model, but you have these different brands who are ordering parts and milling and putting logos on them and things like that. And we have a pretty good story coming up on Monday, a brand story on a laser company that's kind of not doing that I think people will enjoy. Jumping back to my list here, there is a new contest coming tomorrow on social media. We're going to be giving away a driver from, as I hit the microphone, from Cleveland Golf. A lot of people didn't try this one, and they probably should have. The XL line was really, really good. We're going to be giving that away on Twitter. So as I drop it, so pay attention to that. Be easy to enter, and it's a pretty awesome driver. It actually sounds really good too. So pay attention to that. We're going to be giving that one away over the course of the weekend. Only a couple of days to enter. People asked about limited series. They've been asking for a while, and we keep saying it was coming, but let me debut what's dropping. This is, I call it everybody's been asking for winter hats. This is our newest one, THP Limited Series patch right on the front. I call it our retro look. Like, it's got a very cool 8-bit kind of look to it on the logo. I think it's freaking awesome. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys. It's going on sale at 5 p.m. Eastern time today in the THP store. We'll have something new on the forum. If you're listening this tomorrow, it's probably gone already. If you're listening to the audio, but it's going on sale at 5 p.m. Eastern today. We'll have a forum thread with all the instructions as soon as this show is over. And then it's going on sale. The price is $40. And this one was kind of a long time coming. We missed a shipping window, but we're super excited about them. They're going to go fast. So when we do these, pulling back the curtain a little bit, it's the staff does these. The staff is kind of it sounds negative. I don't mean it that way. Morgan and I kind of stay out of it. The staff designs, they pick products, they do things like that. We'll input when we can based on, the data we have and things like that. But this one was a long time coming, and I think they turned out really cool because they have like this retro look, 8-bit look to them that I'm a huge fan of. Anybody knows me knows that I'm still living in the 80s. So that's kind of cool. But, 3 colors, cool limited series patch. And when they're gone, and they're going to go quick. So keep in mind, right after this show, it's going to be on the forum. You'll have probably 2 hours from there to get ready to purchase. When they go live, they're going to be gone quick. I'm guessing within an hour. They could be 5 minutes, though. There's not a lot of them to go around. JD Talks was involved in the design. He kind of took the ball and ran with it with these, and we always love that. And his stuff is a big part of THP in general. So I think that people are going to really like them when they get them. Couple of other things I want to go over before I get into some SkyTrak stuff that you guys. Somebody asked, how heavy is it? It's a hat. I don't know. I live in Florida, so the heaviness or weight of a beanie is not always front and center for me. It feels like a normal winter hat, I guess would be the answer. If you haven't already, we have a AMA Ask Me Anything kind of thing going on in the forum for Scott Fox from Budget Golf. And Scott is amazing. If you haven't dropped a question in there, he can answer anything, be it about product, be it about how retail works, how you can order custom, how the THP coupon works, and everything else. Drop a question in there. He's going to be answering all of them Friday between 11 a.m. Eastern and probably 2 p.m. But he says if he doesn't get to all of them, he'll come back. But he is a blast. Those in the budget championship with Bag Boy this year will get to meet Scott. He is one of the most fun people to be around you'll ever experience. So go in there, chat with him, ask some questions, and go from there. Below the video in the, I don't know what YouTube calls that, there's a link for Coral Safe. I've told the story before about my playing partner, Tim, getting both part of his ear and his face cut off from skin cancer. Jump in there and buy some sunscreen. Take care of yourself. Like, there's every week there's somebody else coming on the forum talking about having to do it. We didn't wait for a company to come to us that we thought was going to be, hey, let's make some money on this. We chose Coral Safe for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're inexpensive. Number two, the sticks make so much sense for a golfer. Stop getting spray everywhere. Stop getting lotion all over your hands. Just roll it on like you would deodorant, and you're good to go. It works really well. They ship quickly. It's family owned. Like, everything about it is good. Go get some Coral Safe from the link and help the show and help yourself. Jumping to another THPer question. This was a really interesting question that I had recently talked to a couple of companies about, and it's been at the forefront of our forum ever since Rapsodo launched. Are affordable launch monitors and things like Topgolf viewed as complementary to golf, or are they viewed as a disruptor? And this is something that I talk a lot about to different people in the industry, because as technology and golf combine, where does it leave people? Like, I've said for years that I think Topgolf, I'll call it for lack of a better phrase, has pulled the greatest con in the history of golf. And that sounds, again, negative, and it's not meant as that. What they've done is they've convinced golfers you're playing golf, and it's convinced non-golfers you're not playing golf. And that is both brilliant and amazing all rolled into one. So I view that as complementary, and in some ways a gateway, but I view it as complementary to the game. Non-golfers go there, they'll whack the ball around for a while, have some drinks, eat some good food. The food's pretty good there, actually, and have a great time. And I think that's awesome. Golfers can go there and hit balls, see data, bring your own clubs, and still have a good time, and do so with the family if you're the only golfer in the bunch. So to me, it's completely complementary. The other side of that is launch monitors. And I've said for years that $2,000 was the barrier to get home people playing golf, because that's roughly the cost of a set of clubs. Now it's a lot more than that, but you can have a pretty good simulator set up with a SkyTrak and have a lot of fun with it. And I don't view it as a disruptor. I view it I don't view it necessarily as complementary either. I guess if I had to choose one of the two, I would say complementary. But I think for years, the launch monitor and the simulator were viewed as two different things, when in actuality, they really weren't. It's just most hardware companies that were really good at launch monitors really were shitty at software. And most software companies that made decent software, their hardware sucked. Now we're getting better at those things. I mean, Foresight is a really dominant leader in hardware. Their software is better than it was. It was pretty fucking terrible before. It's pretty darn good now. And then you see people like Rapsodo create an all-in-one with some other stuff and coming in at an affordable price. That's great. I still believe for home simulation that SkyTrak is the leader, and honestly, I don't think it's close. I'll get to that in our experience coming up soon, but I've said that for over 5 years now, maybe 3 years, that somebody has to get to SkyTrak before they want to take over. The GC3 or Bushnell Launch Pro, whatever they want to. This chair is really fucking uncomfortable. Sorry. The GC3 or Launch Pro, whatever they want to call it, it can be that, but you're already, more expensive than SkyTrak, and then you add in the subscription cost. I'm just not sure for the general user base that it makes a lot of sense. I love that people in the chat are counting my swear words. With Morgan not here, I bet people are expecting more, because last time she wasn't here, I went on a rant of epic proportion because I had some asshole send me a private message that was just flat out rude, without realizing that they were so off base. It was crazy. But anyway, and I shouldn't say that about that person. I mean, the PM was asshole-like, not the person. But so I'm completely off the rails now. But Rapsodo coming in at less than $1,000 all in is a really good solution to get people going at home. But radar can cause some issues. I don't think it's as bad as it was, and it certainly works better than what we saw with Garmin's piece of shit, the R10. It's that device is terrible. You might not even you might as well just guess what the numbers are. And the Mevo's god awful too. Anybody who spends that, they should just spend the money elsewhere. Get somebody to hire a homeless person to stand next to you and write down and guess what numbers are coming out, because that's what Mevo's doing. It's awful. If you can finally get it set up in a situation that maybe is accurate, it's going to take hours to get it there. You might be able to get good readings because Mevo can do that. I've watched it in the Bridgestone Auto get good stuff, but that's because Bridgestone is setting it up. If you buy a Mevo and set it up at your house and you think that's accurate, boy, it is nowhere. It was so far off the other devices that we put next to all the others, whether it's GC Quad, GC3, original Rapsodo. It was so far off. It was insane. So I hope that answers the question on disruptor or complementary. I think it does. Before I get to another question, we had a Titleist experience last year, and it was based around TSR, where the participants got drivers and fairway woods, got to play with the lead engineer on that, Stephanie Dutrell, who's amazing, and Josh Talge, who's senior VP of marketing, and JD Jacqueline, who handles all these kind of things at Ballyhack. And it was a great event, and we tasked people with reviewing the club afterward. That's why we do these events. One of the benefits of this one was kind of fun. It was whoever did, I don't want to say the best job, but really did a good job of reviewing the equipment that they got would get an auto bid to the next one. I mean, they'll have to pay for the event, but they auto bid. If they want to go, they can go. Because we've announced that the Titleist experience is coming back. And I'm going to tell everybody right now that Ski Bum Golfer is going to be joining us at the next one if he'd like to. I don't know if he's in the chat. It's moving pretty fast. I can't tell. But you're going to be joining us in the 2023 Titleist experience if you want to go. We'll get all the details of that event coming up soon. We've already announced where it's going to be. But I see him now. He is in the chat for those listening. You're you're on your way to Dormy Club. It's going to be one hell of an experience, and we're excited to have you back. So, guys who did the reviews, great job. You can only pick one. Doesn't mean you can't sign up and get back in also. That happens, but thank you for coming out, and we're excited about that product and the next event that we're already working on planning. So, with Morgan not here, we don't really have a get off my lawn, but I have one because I got a PM this morning that literally fucking set me off. But it wasn't like about me or THP or anything else. It was about products, and a very, I don't want to say hot product right now, but something that's hitting the industry hard would be putter shafts. And the PM I got, as always, I'll never say who sent it, but the PM I got said something to the effect of, this is, and there were a lot of F-bombs. I'm not going to put them in there. This is all effing snake oil. It's all nonsense. You have nothing to say otherwise. And I responded with, I haven't said anything one way or the other, but it's not. And it's very easy for you to test. Anybody can go into a Club Champion or any place else that has a Sam Putt Lab or even a GC Quad and see what happens when you hit a putter with different shafts. Anybody. Oh, there's so many putters on the market now with different kinds of shafts. It's such an easy thing to test yourself. But I'm going to go back in time to the sky fisters, as I like to call them, the people who are raising their fist to the sky, angry at the fucking world, that back in my day, and I'm that guy. Like, I'm not that guy, but I'm 50 years old. I get it. Back in my day, things were great. Listen, the Bellata golf ball from Titleist has great memories for me, but it's not even on the same stratosphere as the golf balls that are out right now. So people who say this a lot of times don't understand what's happening. And I'm going to go back to when graphite shafts came to drivers. Now, some of them were really terrible, but the Sky Fisters back then, immediately, there's no way I'm ever changing from steel. Oh my God, 75 grams is too light. How dare you? Look, Tiger Woods is playing steel still, and on and on and on again at fucking nauseum. Then 5 years later, oh my God, 65 grams is too light. I will never give up my 75 grams, blah, blah, blah. And there we have it. 60 grams is too light. And then 50, and then 40. And now the people don't even realize that they're playing. The companies had to stop labeling the weight because people freaked out that a 55-gram shaft was actually good enough, and they just call it 5 series because it works. Ask yourself this. If everybody on the planet, and take golf equipment out of it, knows that carbon fiber has gotten stronger with new weaves, technology, everything else. Everybody, every facet of every consumer good that uses carbon fiber has done it. So if you can make something stronger and more stable, if you can get used to the lighter weight, it's better. That's just the way it is. Now, not everybody can, but the people who say I play 75-gram shafts and literally chase a 75-gram shaft every single year with a new 75-gram shaft, to me, are doing themselves a disservice. It's not that one won't be better for them. I like testing shafts like the rest of them. But you should try other weights, and you should, even if it's the same low or high. Well, then again, I'll just go ahead and say, if you think you're going to change shafts and thousands of RPMs of spin are going to change and launch angle by multiple degrees, you are the perfect customer because you're going to be chasing it forever. So that's my get off my lawn. This person sent me this. It was kind of funny. And I don't understand the logic. Here's what I will say. Here's a prediction from me. In 5 years, there will not be a single premium putter on the market that doesn't have some sort of, I'll call it, for lack of a better term, premium putter shaft. Whether it's all carbon fiber or graphite, whether it's a mix of steel and graphite like you see in Stroke Lab, or the Cleveland putters have a UST version of that, or something else. Every single premium putter will have it, and I say it's within 5 years. Could be a little longer, but I'm going to go with 5 years. That's my prediction, because it just makes so much more sense if you can have more stability in something that you can literally measure by millimeters, that it makes there's no reason not to. So now time for something a little more fun. The SkyTrak experience. When we dropped this nugget, I had been working with SkyTrak for several months on this. And to give some backstory here, I had been working with my friend Chris Koski on the Quest Cup. The two were unrelated. I had put out something that the SkyTrak experience was coming. We hadn't even really done the details yet, SkyTrak and I. We had talked about we wanted to do something, and we talked about what we wanted to do, but we hadn't fine-tuned it. Excuse me. And then lo and behold, my friend leaves and goes to SkyTrak. And leaves sounds bad, but it's not that way. He left Edel in the Quest Cup in amazing shape moving forward. That event is going to be unbelievable. But when he got to SkyTrak, I immediately said, like, hey, we need to figure this out. And excuse me. He agreed, and I threw out like a crazy idea, and he's like, I kind of like that. Can we do it? And then I put out the teaser of learning indoor golf while playing outdoors, and he's like, I like that too. So here's what I'm going to say about the SkyTrak experience. There's two levels of qualification to be able to be a part of this. Well, there's three. Number one, you have to be on the THP forum. That's number one. Number two, you have to be an Albatross Club member, like all our experiences. $35 helps a charity. The bricks that we build out at St. Jude are awesome to me. I'm not going to head down that road. People know what that's about. If you look up the Albatross Club, you'll see all the things that it comes with. Number three, you have to be able to put a SkyTrak in your house. Now, it doesn't have to be a permanent setup. It could be in the garage. It could be, you have to be able to have a SkyTrak and use a SkyTrak. And number four, you have to be within driving distance of a golf tech. So we got some caveats here that you have to fall within. And there's a reason for that. And I'll get to some of it, and I'm going to save some of it for coming up soon. But we started this thing called the Garage Sim Crew. It's both a hashtag and kind of a lifestyle where people set up sims in their garage. I think it's freaking awesome. I love it. We built a tech studio previously. We're going to have Tech Studio 2.0 coming soon. Shh, don't tell anybody. That's our secret since Morgan's not here. But the Garage Sim Crew is awesome. Set it up in the garage, take it down when you're done playing. You got something special. For this, we're going to do it at Ballyhack. People who know me know I love that facility. We're doing this at Ballyhack, and we're going to play golf with Chris Koski. And we're also going to play golf with a top instructor. And that instructor is really there to talk launch monitors, simulation, and instruction. That's what he's there for. So again, you got to be able to have a SkyTrak, and you got to be within some level of distance to Golf Tech, because coming out of the event, you are going to get your own SkyTrak device. I can't say what device that will be, but you will get a SkyTrak device. I say that because I don't know, but you will get a SkyTrak device, and you will also get a instruction package, and you're going to review both. That is something we've wanted to do for a long time. Those on THP know that. It doesn't mean you're going to have to go through 200 lessons or anything like that. It's going to be a time period where you're going to work with a coach and get better. And you're going to have a SkyTrak to help get you better if you're doing it in the winter or anything else. I'll have the dates up on the THP forum, and when we're ready to have signups, we'll have that up there as well. But we're going to play golf for multiple days. Somebody asked what the package is worth. It's probably about $7,000 or $8,000. Give or take, maybe a little more. But we're excited about this, and it's our way of doing something different. And SkyTrak wants to be different, and they want to be better. And I think people are going to lose their mind once they see what's going on here, especially once they get there, because you're going to get everything. And we're not bringing 2 people; we're bringing 5. So 5 people are going to join us. And we're pretty excited about that. So I should say 4 because Hawk is going to be one of them since he's reviewed all of these. It was a pretty fucking good show for Hawk today. Christ, I didn't even realize we were doing both of those today. At least I think he's going to be joining me. But yeah, it's going to be 4 THPers and then Golf Tech. I should say top instructor. I shouldn't say Golf Tech. Top instructor, Chris Koski, myself, and Hawk. And seriously, how good of a day is Hawk having? He should buy everybody drinks. I'm kidding, of course. A lot of work will come with that. But that's it's going to be pretty awesome. And he's going to kind of lead this Garage Sim Crew thing. If you haven't read his articles about going through the learning process indoors and using technology for advantage, it's definitely worth it because it's cool. It's cool to watch technology become helpful and not just filled with bitter effing hatred like social media is. I still got a lot more to go here. Well, not a lot more. THPer question asked, what products are in a category of their own with no competition? And I think I put way too much thought into this because I couldn't think of any. So 2 that popped into my head, and it's changed a lot in the last couple of years. The first one was Bushnell lasers. They owned forever like 80% of the market share. And that's changed quite a bit in recent years. They still own a large portion of it, but their devices are expensive and their customer service has been god awful. I'd like to see that change, and I hope it has changed. I haven't dealt with them, and I haven't heard any complaints recently, so maybe it has changed. But it's changed quite a bit. There's other brands out there now, and there's a lot of choices out there that offer just as much or more features for the same or less money. I think Voice Caddy's ahead of everybody in lasers currently when it comes to features. In fact, I'll say it's not even close. And I think there's some direct-to-consumer models that are really good. I'm seeing in the chat people are saying things like the Fin Scooter, definitely not isolated as their own because there's like 20 single riders now. Autoflex, that's golf shaft. And they've marketed it well, but it's just a really light, flexible golf shaft. They can call it anything they want and charge anything they want for it. But so, you know, the only other one that came to mind was FootJoy, and more specifically gloves than anything else. So if people knew the Acushnet market share on gloves up until a few years ago and still really currently, it's mind-blowing. I mean, their shoe market share is already like 50% for FootJoy, but the gloves is insanity. And it's because everybody else kind of made something as good or almost as good, and it charged the same price. Now, I think that there's a couple of brands, both from the disruptor level, like a Caddy Daddy that does something totally different, and from the we can make something better category and charge the same, that are coming now. People have seen the Weatherspan from Callaway that's really, really good, and does something different and charges the same as the Weathersoft that's been out there. And you've seen something like Caddy Daddy where it's just completely different. So I think that's changing a little bit. For people who think footwear, there's an assumption that like Nike is a dominant player in the marketplace, and they're just not. Last I checked, they were third, barely. It's FootJoy, then Adidas, and then Nike, Puma, Echo, those right there. JB Cobb in the comments said dude wipes with a question mark. I would say that if that's a golf category, you're doing things wrong. Theragun, lots of imitators out there right now. I don't know if I'd say they own the marketplace. I think Hyper Ice has done okay there. But I would say that, yeah, I would say Theragun probably owns it. Yes, Puma is behind Nike in golf shoes, barely though. They go back and forth. I always remind people of Off Course, which is our show that drops every Friday, hosted by Dan Edwards. And I want to tell you, tomorrow's show is badass. Jose Miraflor from Cobra is on his show. I listened to it yesterday as I worked on the sound and got it ready for it. And it's really good. They have a conversation about sound and feel and talking irons. You know, normally when you have somebody on here that's really you want to hear, oh, Aerojet driver and this and that. They dive into a couple of different things, and I think it's pretty freaking cool. So I urge people to listen to that when they get a chance. And finally, you might have seen me put up some golf cart threads on the THP forum. And the reason for that is we ordered a golf cart, but I wanted to explain golf cart shopping. And I have 2 questions for the group here. First, have you ever shopped for a golf cart? Like it's different than shopping for just about anything else. But second, can somebody tell me why guys, me included, love the freaking golf cart? I don't know what it is. Is it because that's kind of, if you were a golfer growing up, you kind of did that? You finally got a chance to do it? No, there's no golf cart giveaway. I bought mine just like you guys would at full retail. I'd like a discount if Club Car, Easy Go, Yamaha are listening. Those are the only 3 I would consider right now. But golf cart shopping right now is super weird. So a few years ago, golf carts were the big 3. It's Club Car, Easy Go, and Yamaha. And Club Car and Easy Go are literally, they're both in Augusta, Georgia. They make them there. They're right down the street from each other. Everything is made there. Yamaha, a little different, but still a major player. Yamaha owns the gas market, owns it. Their quiet tech is better than anything on the market in gas. And if you're in places like the villages, you need gas. There's electric carts out there, but it would be a struggle to go from one side of the villages to the other in electric without running out of range. So gas makes a lot of sense there. And the quiet tech is pretty darn quiet. But the other 2 are the brands everybody knows, both from a fleet at a golf course to seeing them around town. Well, a few years back, there was a manufacturer in China. There is a manufacturer in China that makes carts, and they put whatever logo on it. They white label them. You can start a company and have them. And a lot of them have come over that way. We have Icon, we have Tomberlin, we have Advanced EV, and they're all the same cart. A couple of subtle changes. And if you look at the dash on all of them, you'll see they're all exactly the same. And I was an Icon owner. It worked great for us. I know people have struggled. And if you ever have a parts problem, that can be a real problem. The only other one you could make a case for is Star EV. And they're partially assembled in Greenville, South Carolina, but generally speaking, they're made in China. But they're at least made to their own specs. They're not buying a blank. We talk about this for direct-to-consumer goods. The golf cart now has direct-to-consumer models, and they can be upwards of half the price of a Club Car, Easy Go, and everything else. But golf cart shopping is super weird, man. I walk in with Morgan, and which one do you like the look of better? I don't care. They all look the same. And she's right. They do. But to golfers, to dudes, like, we think they all, oh, do you see the subtle lines of this? Like, it's totally different. I get her thought process because they are, from 5 feet away, they probably all do look the same. But it's an easier thing to do. And I kind of wish in a lot of ways I was the same way as her, with just like, yep, I want this feature. I don't really care anything else. So yeah, that golf cart shopping is interesting. If you haven't done it, it's kind of fun because they're not all the same now. Check out some of the brands. They go faster. The ones coming straight from China go like 30 to 35 right out of the box. It's kind of scary at times. The Club Cars and Easy Goes, you need to rev that up with a performance thing to get them to go 25. But 25 is pretty good. Lithium batteries and everything else. It's a pretty cool experience. So if you haven't done it, definitely give it a try sometime. Even if you're not go test drive a couple, because it's pretty cool what they've done. The different seats and everything are nuts. Even standard seats. So our Icon had you basically might have been sitting on a rock. It was not comfortable, but it rode great. The Club Car and Easy Goes, the standard seats are really, really comfortable, and they should be. If you're using it in a town like in Florida, there's a lot of them, or a neighborhood like that, you need to get around and you need to be comfortable on it. So it was a fun experience. So hopefully this show helps you guys out. We're going to wrap it up. Obviously a lot of news given here, especially for Lucky Man Hawk, but no, Srixon experience details are coming soon. SkyTrak experience details. And the details are out now, but you guys heard them here, but the full article and thread that lists everything will be out soon. We're super excited about those. We're excited about the contest tomorrow. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. Again, it'll be on Twitter. You can win this driver right here. And it's pretty awesome. Comes with the Cypher shaft. You can pop any shaft in there you'd like. But I think that we're going to have some fun this week with all these details coming out. And we are off for a few weeks, like we said, if you missed that at the beginning. So for myself and Morgan, who's normally next to me, thanks for tuning in, everybody.